may I request Mr. Karnad ji, Pramod Karnad, who is going to be the chairperson of the panel, to join us for the panel on governance.
We are here for the first session, which is very important as far as the topic goes. And the topic is strengthening governance in cooperative banks. When we speak of the government, when the government, may it be a state government or a central government, governs perfectly, manages the funds, or they don't take much of overdrafts or borrowings, then the economic growth is very important, as in the inaugural session, Satish Marathi sir was also saying. So governance in our sector, that is cooperative sector, cooperative banking sector, we can say cooperative governance. Why we should say corporate governance? Corporate governance is a term, but we can say it's a cooperative governance. So when we speaking of cooperative governance, we have members, the supreme authority, general body. So the directors, the senior management has got responsibility to report to the general body. So that is the major governance, I can say. That is one of the major part of their governance, that we report to the general body. So what are the 2-3 pillars I can just identify in nutshell is accountability. When we speak of governance, accountability is very important, that I am accountable to somebody supreme to me. May it be government, may it be a regulator, may it be my depositor, may it be my consumer, who is taking my services, may it be my employees also, may it be my subordinates also. So I am reportable not only to the higher ups, but even the line below. तो जब मैं ये कहता हूँ कि मेरी कुछ accountability है, reportability है, that is very important part of governance. Secondly, another very important part of governance, जब हम cooperative banks की बात करते हैं तो transparency की भी बात करनी चाहिए. So when we have all policies transparently implemented, without any discrimination, जब हम पॉलिसी करते हैं, रिकवरी की पॉलिसी कर रहे हैं, तो किसी को हम ऐसा कर रहे हैं कि उसका जब रिकवरी का ये आता है, रिकवरी आती है, तो उसमें 75% उसका प्रिंसिपल में ले रहे हैं, 25% इंटरेस्ट में ले रहे हैं. ओके, व्हेन इट इज अ बोर्ड अप्रूव्ड पॉलिसी यू कैन टेक द रिकवरी परसेंटेज. बट जब हम यही 50% किसी को कर रहे हैं, किसी को 30-70 कर रहे हैं, एंड देर इज इनडिस्क्रिमिनेशन, देर इज नो ट्रांसपेरेंसी. जब हम चार्जेस लगा रहे हैं तो चार्जेस जो भी है इट शुड नॉट बी हिडन चार्जेस. तो ये सब ट्रांसपेरेंसी की बात है. ट्रांसपेरेंसी की बात इट इज ऑल्सो पार्ट ऑफ गवर्नेंस. तो हम, मेरे साथ पैनलिस्ट है, वो उनसे भी मैं क्वेश्चंस करूंगा कि हमारे कोऑपरेटिव सेक्टर में ये कहाँ तक है, ट्रांसपेरेंसी कहाँ तक है, यहाँ अकाउंटेबिलिटी कितनी है, एंड ऑल्सो इंडिपेंडेंस. दैट इज अनदर पिलर. यू नो, एवरी सीनियर मैनेजमेंट पर्सन should have independence. Even the chairman should have independence. There should not be somebody shadowing him, or the strong directors. Anybody who has any, I can say, pressurizing any person, a senior manager, CEO, that is not good governance. Governance में independence भी है. He should act independently. He should have liberty to take the decisions. So these all are very important aspects. And why? Because we are reportable to the stakeholders. हमारे जो भी stakeholders है, उस सब stakeholders के लिए हमें ये जरूरी है कि हम ये सब अपने जो stakeholder है, उसमें shareholders है, members है, stakeholders में I can say again regulator, state government, central government, और हमारे जो consumers है, employees है, service vendors है, सबके साथ हमारी जो है senior management और सबको जो सही है, what is wrong, what is correct, they should judge and they should have liberty to take the option of what is correct. तो ये सब गुड गवर्नेंस की बात है. एंड व्हेन आरबीआई इज नाउ एक्सपेक्टिंग, अभी जब हमें अर्बन बैंकों में आरबीआई का रिपोर्ट मिलता है, इट इज नो मोर इंस्पेक्शन रिपोर्ट, इट इज रार रिस्क असेसमेंट रिपोर्ट. तो रिस्क असेसमेंट रिपोर्ट में पहले शुरू की सब बात है वो गवर्नेंस पे बात करते हैं. फर्स्ट चैप्टर ऑफ रार इज ऑन गवर्नेंस itself. So what is Reserve Bank expecting? That you should have a good board of directors, you should have subcommittees, you should have professional directors in your board. तो ये सब गवर्नेंस की बात है कि ये जो प्रोफेशनल डायरेक्टर्स है उनकी मात्रा अभी तो 51% है, लेकिन एटलीस्ट 2% शुड बी कोऑप्टेड. नहीं हो तो then also fit and proper क्राइटेरिया है. तो फिट एंड प्रॉपर के क्राइटेरिया का बोर्ड ऑफ मैनेजमेंट होना चाहिए. ये सब गवर्नेंस की बात है. सीईओ फिट एंड प्रॉपर का होना चाहिए. सो दीज ऑल एस्पेक्ट्स आर द पिलर्स. एंड देन आरबीआई इज एक्सपेक्टिंग व्हाट्स एट द टाइम ऑफ इंस्पेक्शन दे आर असेसिंग कि यहाँ इस बैंक में किस टाइप की गवर्नेंस चल रही है. सीनियर मैनेजमेंट में सीनियर मैनेजमेंट है तो पॉलिसीज कैसे है, जितने भी एमआईएस है वो अच्छे हैं क्या, हर महीने में सीईओ अपने बोर्ड के सामने ये पॉलिसीज ये रिपोर्ट्स रखता है क्या, क्वार्टरली रखता है क्या, क्वार्टरली पब्लिकेशन क्या है, उसके जो डेप्रिसिएशन है, उसके जो आइडिया क्रिएट करने हैं वो सब ठीक से करता है कि नहीं, बीडीडीआर ठीक से करता है कि नहीं, वेदर आईरैक नॉर्म्स जो है वो ठीक से कर रहे हैं कि नहीं, या उसमें डाइवर्जन है, डेविएशंस है. ऑल दोज थिंग्स दीज आर पार्ट ऑफ ट्रांसपेरेंसीज की जो हमारा डेटा है वो हम बोर्ड के सामने रख रहे हैं, बोर्ड जनरल बॉडी के सामने रख रहा है. और ये सब पूरा ट्रांसपेरेंसी का बात है. एंड देयर इज नो विंडो ड्रेसिंग. तो ये गवर्नेंस है बिकॉज वी आर मीटिंग दी एक्सपेक्टेशंस ऑफ स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, स्टेक होल्डर, रेगुलेटर. सो बेस्ड ऑन दिस आरबीआई इज ऑल्सो व्यूइंग कि भाई इस बैंक में ये सब ठीक हो रहा है कि नहीं. और जब हमारा सब ठीक हो रहा है कस्टमर इज वेरी हैप्पी. अल्टीमेटली जैसे लक्ष्मी दास साहब ने कहा था कि दूसरों का पैसा हम यूज कर रहे हैं, we are taking the money of depositors. So RBI is giving prime importance to the safeguarding of depositors' interest. और जब डिपॉजिटर्स का इंटरेस्ट सेफगार्ड करना है और उसको हम वायोलेशन कर रहे हैं, आरबीआई का रूल का वायोलेशन कर रहे हैं, मास्टर डायरेक्शन वायोलेशन कर रहे हैं, बैंकिंग रूल रेगुलेशन एक्ट को तोड़फोड़ कर रहे हैं, तो इस बारे में फिर मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी, मॉनेटरी पेनल्टी आ रही है. तो फिर आरबीआई अपने ऊपर जोर से आ रहा है. एंड देयरफॉर we must have a very good governance in the bank. Good governance से अच्छे results मिल रहे हैं. तो with this short introduction, I will go to my panelists now. With this short introduction, at my left is Mr. M.D. Pai, who is the Managing Director, CEO of GP Parsik Sahakari Bank. We have Vijay Kurankar, CEO of Ambarnath Hind Bank. And of course, we have Shri Anant Kulkarni, Managing Director of Kalyan Janata Sahakari Bank. So now first I will come to Mr. Pai because I know you and you have worked as CEO in many banks and now with GP Parsik Bank. So just I was speaking on the three pillars of corporate governance, that is accountability, transparency, independence. तो आपको ये लगता है whether you think that these pillars are prevalent in cooperative banks? आपका क्या ख्याल है?
This topic of corporate governance and professionalism was my subject, Karnad sir, of my doctorate. Of course, it was almost 8 to 10 years back. But before that, I would like to say something about what is governance. See, this, though the word is corporate governance, this governance is quite new concept for cooperative banking sector. This governance, as the word indicates, and as you rightly said, I also believe corporate means big corporates. For them, this governance is in place under the Companies Act. Similarly, commercial bank and public sector banks are also having the same corporate governance But if you see, for last, I think, 8 to 10 years, RBI is very much insisting on this corporate governance, particularly urban cooperative bank, and particularly with large size banks. Large size banks, I would like to say more than 5,000 crores. What is the reason? Let me just start my beginning. What is the reason for this governance? Why they insisted? After Madhopura incidents, the RBI observed that there is a lack of professionalism in the cooperative banking sector. So they decided to have at least 2 professional directors on the board of the BOD. Professional director means either from CA or any banking expert, so they can guide to the BOD on the policy matters. Because generally, all of us know the board of directors are very local. It's now, of course, a lot of expertise is there. But even after that, Karnad sir, they observed that even after introduction of these 2 professional directors, the improvement of the professionalism and governance was not up to the mark, even in last 2 years. That's why they introduced the Sankalpana of BOM, Board of Management. Now, what is governance? What I said, since I worked with various banks, as you said. So, I would like to share in Marathi. What is governance? Governance चा मराठी अर्थ इथे बरेच माझे मराठी आले असतील. स्वच्छ प्रशासन. स्वच्छ प्रशासन, स्वच्छ आणि सुनियोजित प्रशासन म्हणजे गव्हर्नन्स. आता रिजर्व बैंकेला, लेट मी आई कैन स्पीक, रिजर्व बैंक को हमारे बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स के जो कमर्शियल बैंक का गवर्नेंस है वो ऐसी अपेक्षा नहीं है. उनकी कहना यही है कि आपका जो बोर्ड है वो अच्छा सुप्रशासन करे, पॉलिसी का क्या अच्छी तरह से पालन करे. इसके हिसाब से बोर्ड बैंक का जो है अर्बन बैंक्स विल फंक्शन इन गुड वे. इसके लिए उन्होंने बहुत से सर्कुलर्स भी दिए. ना कमिंग टू माय
मधुसूदन जी, आपने कहा कि अच्छा प्रशासन सही है, लेकिन फॉर गुड गवर्नेंस या प्रशासन के लिए उसको इंडिपेंडेंस है, लिबर्टी है कि नहीं. दैट्स व्हाट आई एम आस्किंग, whether he has got that independence, liberty to take the decision.
I'm coming to that question. Since you said I have worked with various banks on this position, slowly, gradually, I found that yes, there is an improvement in the governance of banks. I work from, this is my 6th bank, and our board follows it very strictly. I am proud that we follow that, irrespective of whatever odds. Because see, governance cannot be an overnight concept for the BOD, because they are managing the bank for last so many years with their typical traditional, but we follow it. And now coming to, we have to follow it because what Karnad sir has said, RBI started penalizing some of the banks only purely on the governance. How they decide the governance? They go through the minutes. They go through the agenda. They see what discussions are held in the meeting. They see whether whatever the deliberation is done in the meeting, whatever the views, notes are prepared by CEO or whosoever executives. And they see out of that, they see whether the governance or discussions are held or not, and whether the decisions are taken in that direction. Generally in cooperative banking, sir, we always discuss, but we lack in writing the proper proceedings. So decisions are taken, but all decisions are unanimous. What they say, the cooperative banks are based on the principle of democracy. How can be decision be unanimous when you are working on the democratic principle? But coming back to my experience, slowly, gradually, up to this bank, there is a good governance we are following.
Yes, and to add some more inputs to what you have said, that the general body is to be taken every year in time. Then board of directors have obligations to have various committees, and that committee meetings have to be there. Board of directors have obligation to circulate the agenda in time. The board members should read that agenda. They should come prepared for the meeting. And also see, there is do's and don'ts given by RBI. And then when you finish up your meeting, you are supposed to hand over that agenda notes back to the office. You know, you are not supposed to carry it home. So there is a code of conduct. You know, governance is also a code of conduct, code of value. सो ये भी एक बात है कि एक आचार संहिता है, दिस इज अ कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट. सो नाउ ओवर टू विजय जी. विजय CEO of Ambarnath Jai Hind Sahakari Bank. Now when I saw Lakshmidas ji, we met in the last conference, and that time he was in his inaugural session. लक्ष्मीदास जी बोल रहे थे, इसीलिए मैंने आपको कहा कि सर 2 मिनट रुकिए यहाँ पे, कि उसी बात को मैं छेड़ रहा हूँ अगले क्वेश्चन के लिए, कि ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है कि आई एम गोइंग टू आस्क विजय जी कि वेदर दिस फिट एंड प्रॉपर क्राइटेरिया accepting professional directors that will strengthen the corporate governance. ये corporate governance बढ़ाएगा क्या? Because board of management is also there. बोर्ड ऑफ मैनेजमेंट में पूरे फिट एंड प्रॉपर वाले होने चाहिए, आधे बाहर से चाहिए, एक्सपर्ट चाहिए, आधे बैंक के चलते हैं. सो विद दैट यू नो RBI इज एक्सपेक्टिंग प्रोफेशनलिज्म इन द बोर्ड्स ऑफ कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स. लेकिन जब लक्ष्मीदास जी ने कहा कि भाई बहुत हाईएस्ट प्रोफेशनल क्वालिफिकेशन है, इसका मतलब वो बहुत अच्छा बैंक चला सकेगा क्या? सो my question to you now that if we have suppose 51% का क्राइटेरिया है कि फिट एंड प्रॉपर वाले प्रोफेशनल चाहिए, मैं तो कहूँगा कि किसी बैंक में 100% प्रोफेशनल डायरेक्टर्स चलिए, 100% CA है, हाईली क्वालिफाइड है, CA है, CS है, ICW है, बाकी पूरे बैंकिंग और बाकी फाइनेंस वाले एडवोकेट्स है, फिर भी बैंक अच्छे चलाएंगे? या ऐसी भी है कि जिसको ज़्यादा प्रोफेशनल क्वालिफिकेशन नहीं है, वो कॉलेज भी नहीं गया है, लेकिन उसका वर्क एक्सपीरियंस ज़बरदस्त है? ऐसे बहुत सारे बोर्ड्स में हमें अभी ये दिस इज़ अ रियलिटी, बोर्ड्स में हमें ऐसे दिखते हैं आधा से ज़्यादा कि जिनका क्वालिफिकेशन सिर्फ SSC है या अभी 10वीं भी नहीं है, लेकिन दे आर वेरी प्रोफेशनल एज फार एज देयर नॉलेज गोज, देयर एक्सपीरियंस गोज. तो आपका ये मुझे क्वेश्चन करना है कि आप मानते हैं कि प्रोफेशनल डायरेक्टर्स ज़्यादा हो तो स्ट्रेंथनिंग ऑफ गवर्नेंस ज़्यादा हो सकता है? व्हाट इज़ योर ओपिनियन, फ्रैंकली ओपन?
Thank you. See, independent board of directors is one of the important component of corporate governance. Okay. And secondly, how they are elected. They are elected by general body. General body take into account their past background, qualifications and other things. Okay. And then first thing is there should be 2 professional directors should be there on the board. Then secondly, 51% of directors should be having special knowledge, professional experience in the field of accountancy, economics, small scale industry, and any other matter, any other subject which is useful to the bank. So if the composition of the board is that kind of people, then your board is fit and proper. But then important as a point he has raised is whether it is useful to the bank. That is most important. So how to make them useful? See, naturally what they can be useful to us, provided, and that is what we are doing it, I am telling you. What is the practices we are following, what is the practices we are following, what is the process we are following. So that will give insight how to improve the process of governance. Even before the board meeting or any other meeting, we are circulating the agenda. Along with the agenda, we submit the data for any agenda. Suppose full defaulter is there, overdues are there in the account. We submit the data to the board for any committee. So a small loan committee is there, industrial loan committee is there. We submit a proposal to the 3 days in advance to all the members of the committee. So that before coming to the meeting, they go through the agenda, they go through the proposal and give their inputs. Or if there are gaps in the proposal, they highlight even before coming to the meeting. So that we are aware about that thing, and of course it is one-to-one. It is not the public, but it is one-to-one. So we'll come to know what are the gaps in the proposal. So accordingly, when we come to the meeting, our answers are ready. Management team will keep the answers ready, and it is submitted at the time of committee. Okay, and that is one thing. Secondly, what transpired in the meeting, that is also important. For that is important, so it is free and frank discussion about the subject matter in hand. So there, So who will give opinion? Some say that opinion, there are counter opinions, then some other opinions, and there is reaction. And after that, there will be consensus. So when the loan proposal is there, so loan proposal, financials are taken care. Some raise issue about the promoters. Who are the promoters? That is their background. So that is important. Financials is one angle. What is the background on the promoter? That is also important. Some board member aware about the promoter, they will highlight about the promoter, whether they have political influential people are there, whether it is useful to the bank or not useful. So that way that is done. Secondly, the third point is, after meeting also, they give the data submission is there. So data submission will give for all the agenda items in the meeting for board. Secondly, RBI stipulated a certain agenda should be there in every quarterly meeting of the BOD. Calendar of review is there. So we have prepared the agenda for each board meeting in advance. What should be the agenda must. So that is done for every quarterly meeting, every board, every monthly meeting. And basis that agenda, we are submitting data to the board members or committee members, and then discussion takes place. Secondly, there are some members who are ex-bankers. They are chartered accountants. So they raise queries. Ex-banker, they give inputs, they give suggestions, they give their feedback on this data submitted by us, and they give suggestion also. Why this is the way you do this, if you do this way, that will be better. So during the discussion, that is also taken care. This is how these meetings are conducted.
Okay. Thank you. One question. You said you uttered a word politician. Okay, during your speech. Now, I have worked in urban banking sector also. I have worked in I was managing director of State Cooperative Bank. I was also administrator on DCC Bank. So DCC Bank, State Cooperative Bank, Urban Cooperative Bank, all the sectors I have worked. Most of the DCC banks have got a political oriented board, you know. The local politician is always there on the board of DCC banks. May it be a MLA, minister also. Even the same thing happens in State Cooperative Bank. But when we have politicians on the board of cooperative banks and they are not debarred, then do you think that non-political people in the board can have good governance?
No, I am not talking about political people. I am talking about borrowers. I am talking about borrowers.
Borrower, okay.
Promoters
Okay.
of the company.
Okay, okay.
If they are professionally run company, there is no issue.
Fine enough. But the answer is mixed, you know. In many banks, you know, even there are some politicians, they are experts also. They govern the bank very nicely. So it has a different angle. Okay, now coming back to good governance and corporate governance, I move to technology now. We are speaking of technology, but adopting technology, whether it will strengthen, I am asking this question to Anant Kulkarni. Anantaji, do you think adopting technology will strengthen the good governance in cooperative banks? And if you have any problem in adopting technology, then how will you overcome that? What is your own bank's experience? That also you can narrate.
Hello. Thank you, Pramod. Being the last man on the panel, what is corporate governance? Rather governance. जैसे लक्ष्मीदास जी ने कहा कि हम फैमिली में भी गवर्नेंस अच्छा ही रखते हैं ना, इसलिए तो फैमिली अच्छी चलती है. लेकिन बैंक में हम पब्लिक मनी के साथ खेलते हैं. लोगों का डिपॉजिट एक्सेप्ट करते हैं, लोगों को एडवांस देते हैं, इसलिए ज़्यादा जागरूक रहने की आवश्यकता है. स्वयं प्रेरणा और स्वयं शिस्त, ये दोनों बिग पॉइंट्स है गवर्नेंस के लिए. जो रेगुलेटर ने माना है, जो रेगुलेटर ने बताया है, उसके मुताबिक ही चलना है. अपना कुछ इनोवेटिव इंटरफेरेंस निकाल के, इन्फ्रेंस निकाल के कुछ करना नहीं है. जो करते आ रहे हैं उसको डॉक्यूमेंट में लाना है, जो डॉक्यूमेंट में है वैसे करना है। इतना सादा सा गवर्नेंस का अर्थ है। जो करते आ रहे हैं उसको लिखना पड़ेगा पॉलिसी में कि ये है, ये एसओपी है, ये पॉलिसी है, और जो लिखा है वैसे हिसाब से ही करना चाहिए। अभी जैसा प्रमोद जी ने बताया, टेक्नोलॉजी का रोल क्या है इसमें? अगर सभी क्राउड हम देखेंगे तो 50-55 के आयु के आगे के हैं सब। 90s से हमने टेक्नोलॉजी अडॉप्ट किया। तो पहले 90 के पहले क्या बैंक चलती नहीं थी? क्या अच्छी तरह से भी चलती नहीं थी? गुड गवर्नेंस वॉज ऑलवेज देयर बिफोर कंप्यूटराइजेशन ऑल्सो। लेकिन टेक्नोलॉजी बीट्स एवरीथिंग। क्यों बीट करती है? कितना फ्रॉड रिस्क मैनेजमेंट हम उससे कर पाते हैं, कितना कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस अच्छी तरह से कर पाते हैं। हमारे बैंक में एक हमने उदाहरण किया, हम बोर्ड मीटिंग पेपरलेस करते हैं, ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी यूज़ करते हैं। हमने हर एक डायरेक्टर को एक टैब दिया है, उसके ऊपर सब क्रेडिट की नोट्स जाती है, एजेंडा जाता है, मिनट जाता है, सब कुछ उसका। वो किसी को शेयर नहीं कर पाता है। उसको अगर कुछ उनके इंक्वायरी करनी है, उसके कुछ क्वेरीज है, तो उधर डाल के उस एग्जीक्यूटिव पास ऑन कर सकते हैं। ये टेक्नोलॉजी का उपयोग गवर्नेंस में अच्छी तरह से किया जाता है। पहले सिबिल नहीं था, दूसरी जगह से अगर किसी ने ले लिया कर्जा तो अपने को मालूम नहीं पड़ रहा था। अब सिबिल आया है, क्रीफी आया है, और बहुत सारे लोग आए हैं। प्रोप करके अभी आया है कि जो कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस के अगेंस्ट जो आरओसी में जो कंपनीज है उनकी सब इंफॉर्मेशन निकालता है। ऐसे ऐसे न्यू टेक्नोलॉजीज आने के कारण हमारी फ्रॉड रिस्क मैनेजमेंट अच्छी तरह से कर सकते हैं, रिस्क से बच रहे हैं। तो इसमें प्रॉब्लम नहीं है क्या? प्रॉब्लम तो जरूर है, हर पीढ़ी में रहते हैं। इस पीढ़ी में प्रॉब्लम है क्या है? एडॉप्शन ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी। जो एग्जीक्यूटिव कैडर है और जो डायरेक्टर्स का कोर ग्रुप है, उनकी माइंडसेट बनाना कि टेक्नोलॉजी पे डिपेंड करके, निर्भर करके ही हमें काम करना है। अभी जो जैसे बोले प्रोफेशनल डायरेक्टर आ रहे हैं, नए नए लोग आ रहे हैं, उन सब लोगों को डाटा ड्रिवन डिसीजन चाहिए। पहले से जैसे हम थंब रूल से करते थे, बिहेवियरल पैटर्न क्या रहता है हमारे डिपॉजिट विड्रॉल का, हमें मालूम था। लेकिन आज डाटा ड्रिवन होने के कारण हम खातरी से बता सकते हैं कि 90% हमारा डिपॉजिट जो है वो कोई भी रेट होगा तो भी रिन्यू ही होता है। इट इज बैक्ड बाय डाटा। इसलिए डाटा टेक्नोलॉजी ये आवश्यक है। अब तो एआई आने वाला है, अब तो चैट जीपीटी आने वाला है, क्या क्या नहीं आ रहा है। एआई से भी हम अपना बिजनेस बढ़ाने के लिए, रिस्क कम करने के लिए, कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस करने के लिए, कंप्लायंस करने के लिए, रिस्क करने के लिए, सभी एरियाज में अभी नई नई टेक्नोलॉजी आ रही है। उनको रिसेप्ट करने में हमें तकलीफ हो रही है। तो अपने को पहले अपना माइंडसेट बदलना चाहिए, अपनी मैनेजमेंट का भी माइंडसेट बदलना चाहिए। इसमें एक बहुत बड़ा अड़सर है, वो कॉस्ट का है। जैसे प्रमोद जी ने बताया कि आपको यहाँ अगर टेक्नोलॉजी है, मालूम है कि हमको लेना भी है, लेकिन हर एक की कॉस्ट, नॉट ओनली द कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर बट ऑल्सो रिकरिंग कॉस्ट इज नॉट अफोर्डेबल टू द बैंक्स। जैसे पहले सतीश जी ने कहा कि इसमें NUCFDC, एफकैप, इन्होंने इनिशिएटिव लेना चाहिए कि ये अफोर्डेबल कैसे हो। ये अगर मास लेवल पे बिक जाए तो कितना कम कर सकते हैं। ये अगर हमने अच्छी तरह से तय किया तो टेक्नोलॉजी कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स में सबसे पहले अडॉप्ट की थी 90s में, और आज भी हम किसी से कॉम्पीट करने में कम नहीं रह पाएंगे।
Well said, Anant ji. And I was very happy to note that in your bank, the agenda notes are circulated online only, and they have been provided tab and all that. मैं 2015 से 2017 तक NAFCOB का, नेशनल फेडरेशन ऑफ स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स का मैं डायरेक्टर था, 2 टेन्योर था। तो उस टाइम से मैं देख रहा हूँ कि वहाँ भी नोट्स सर्कुलेट नहीं होते थे मैन्युअली, और वो पूरे जो नोट्स होते थे वो ऑनलाइन अपने आपको तो पता है सर जी। तो ये बात है कि 2015 से यह हमने अडॉप्ट किए। 2015 या 14 की बात है कि जब बुल्ढाना कोऑपरेटिव क्रेडिट अर्बन क्रेडिट सोसाइटी अडॉप्टेड रोबोटिक्स लॉकर्स, जो आईसीआईसीआई बैंक ने भी नहीं किए थे. आईसीआईसीआई बैंक वाज द फर्स्ट प्राइवेट सेक्टर बैंक टू अडॉप्ट दिस टेक्नोलॉजी. उसके पहले अपनी कोऑपरेटिव क्रेडिट सोसाइटी बुल्ढाना, शिवाजी पार्क मुंबई में उनकी ब्रांच है, वहाँ पे रोबोटिक लॉकर्स. तो ये हम कर सकते हैं अडॉप्टिंग टेक्नोलॉजी. तो आई वाज आस्किंग कि वेदर adopting technology can strengthen the governance, and definitely yes, the answer is definitely positive. Now there are some professional tools. Quickly I will ask, because I can see the time also, whether if we have asset liability, good asset liability management. You tell me, Anant, whether such type of tools are there. We have good ALCO amongst our senior managers. We have got a very good treasury head, and we have got all screens and all that. Bloomberg ka screen hai, falana falana. Then in that case, the governance will be higher. Just or what is your experience?
या जैसे मैंने पहले भी कहा कि टेक्नोलॉजी ऑलवेज बीट्स, क्योंकि क्या होता है, उसके पास थकान नहीं है. मनुष्य के पास थकान है. 8 घंटे के बाद, 10 घंटे के बाद थकान आती है, फटीक आती है. टेक्नोलॉजी एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म है, ट्रेजरी समझो, पिछली 70 साल से ये ट्रेंड कैसा चला कि 1 मिनट में देती है. आगे क्या हो सकता है इसकी प्रिडिक्शंस देती है. उस हिसाब से मेरे को क्या करना चाहिए, मेरी बैंक की रेट्स है वो कम ज़्यादा करनी चाहिए क्या. जैसे एसेट लायबिलिटी मैनेजमेंट है, मेरा अगले 15 दिन में मैच्योर होने वाला डिपॉजिट कौन सा है, 2 महीने में मैच्योर डिपॉजिट होने वाला कौन सा है. अगर फंक्शंस आ रहे हैं, फेस्टिवल्स आ रहे थे, उस हिसाब से मेरे को कुछ लॉन्चिंग करना चाहिए क्या नहीं है. ये सब डिसीजन आज तक हमने थंब रूल पे लिए, लेकिन अब ये सब टूल्स अवेलेबल है मार्केट में. वो लाके वो ट्रेंड के एनालिसिस करते हैं. उनके पास डाटा की बहुत बड़ी खासियत है. उसके हिसाब से वो एनालिसिस करके हमें आउटपुट दे सकते हैं. डिसीजन हमें लेना है, डिसीजन मशीन नहीं लेगा, लेकिन उसका इंटरप्रिटेशन करने का तरीका जो है, वो तरीके, एनालिसिस के तरीके अपने पास मौजूद है. इसके हिसाब से हम हमारे डिसीजन प्रूव कर सकते हैं कि हाँ यही बराबर था, जो थंब रूल से चल रहा था तो आज डाटा ड्रिवन हो रहा है.
Yes, Anand ji. Now quickly I will ask Madhusudan ji, if there is a good internal checks and control in the bank, whether it will strengthen the governance.
Yes. Why yes? Because the reason for that is you may appoint any auditors outside. Now it is a risk-based audit, as you said. Now it is risk-based audit, you may appoint. But the policies of the bank, your organizations are best known to your officers only. And if they follow, take the case of our internal audit. Now it is not, now it is a inter-risk audit. If my audit team is well equipped, they are very knowledgeable. That's why RBI has made one significant change in appointment of the chief of the auditor. They say head of the internal audit should be a senior person having a specialized, means all banking knowledge. Because the auditor cannot be a person who doesn't know his policy. He doesn't know his bank policy. If he doesn't know bank policy, he can't be a good auditor because he is going to audit, no. And if he fails to do audit, or he fails to point out some of the, what you call the, I will not say irregularities, but some observation, maybe minor, serious, at the end of the month, end of the year, in the month of March, when our strategy auditor discuss, then again RBI also comes and they point out various. I think if it is that practice is followed since beginning, then good governance is possible.
Yeah, quick question to Vijay. Now he was speaking about the risk-based internal audit. So risk-based internal audit, now I was telling that RBI is issuing risk assessment report, RAR. So risk is now very important. So if our bank, any bank, so to say, is having very good risk management policies and risk management implementation, whether it will strengthen, and what is your experience in your own bank? What are your tools for strengthening the corporate governance in your bank through risk management tools, identification of risk, mitigation of risk, so and
Actually, functions of risk management committee is to identify the risks, okay, assess the risks, measure the risks, monitor the risks, and try to find out the mitigants. What are the mitigants? Certain risks will be always there. Every business activity, every economic activity has got risks. You cannot have life without risks. Even you are walking on the street, you are carrying risks. Somebody may hit you, some vehicle may hit you. So that
Perfect.
is true for the
Perfectly said.
business also. That is true for business also. Okay, so risk management committee is an important topic, and that is the reason why we said risk-based internal audit. RBI has suggested you carry out risk-based internal audit. What risk-based internal audit throw to you? That will show you for the branch-wise and a bank branch-wise what are the risks. Which are the risks? Their risks is very high level, medium or low. What is the trend of the risks? They are increasing or decreasing. What are the mitigants you want to put in place? What are the mitigants you should place in place? So risk-based internal audits will give you not only about the branch, but as a bank-wise, what are the top 5 risks of the bank?
yes, Anant.
And
Yeah.
what are the mitigants, what board can do to it? Certain things are mitigatable, certain things cannot. You have to accept the risks.
Yes, nicely answered. Thank you. Now I will conclude this first session. And the first session was on strengthening of good governance, strengthening of governance in cooperative banks. I think all the 3 panelists have given good ideas, shared good inputs, and I am sure that this topic was very interesting to you. When we are, I want to reiterate that governance is nothing but a code of conduct. We have to have integrity. We have to have transparency. We have to have reportability. We have to have accountability to the stakeholders, to the regulators, to the general public, to our consumer, to our customer. So with that, everything will happen nicely. And as Mr. Madhusudan was saying, Mr. Pai was saying that in our bank, we have very good transparency and all that. I have experienced that in his bank. To conclude, I must cite that example. They had called me to take interviews of very higher posts, general manager and CGM, etc. And when I went to their bank, he introduced me to his chairman and board. And then when I went to the boardroom, that time only myself and he was there. I said, nobody from your staff committee, nobody from your board is coming here. They said, our board has strictly followed that whenever such type of do's and don'ts, whenever there is a recruitment, they will not interfere. Whatever you feel, you select and you tell us, you select on the merit. See, that's the transparency. That's the transparency, And it is not prevalent everywhere. So I could choose few people and they got recruited. So see, this is a governance, And as Anant was saying that that is also true. Technology, technology adoption is important and it will surely strengthen. So with that, I think transparency. You take that.
See, regarding transparency, earlier, if you see the UCBs, I will not say all seniors are there. Transparency was a sort of a fear amongst the board of directors. अरे क्यों सब दिखाने का, क्यों सब बोलने का, क्यों सब. Earlier also RBI inspection also, Karnad you must be knowing, RBI inspection आता है, अरे उनके सामने कुछ दिखा मत. But those days are gone. Now inspection is carried out on the dumb data. We are sitting in Mumbai having head office, we doesn't know what kind of dumb data they are creating and what kind of audit they are doing. So transparency, I would like to have one thing. See, all board of directors, their main transparent document is your annual report. You, only once in a year we hold the annual AGM. An annual report given by the chairman, it is a document of what your board has done in last 1 year. And that is the only document whereby you go before the AGM, members of your stakeholders, saying that हमने ये किया है. In that case, if you gain the confidence, if your annual report is properly transparent and drafted as required by the members, I am telling you, it is my experience, lot of complaints from the members on some of the issue will be reduced, and that will be a one forward step for the transparency in the UCB.
Absolutely, MD. Transparency is very important and there should not be discrimination. Transparency itself, what is right, what is wrong, that we have to see and adopt what is right, the thing. And it should be applicable to all. That's the transparency. So, with the transparency, independence, and your liberty and reportability, accountability, good governance can be strengthened. And with that, RBI is also very keen that we have a very good governance. Therefore, RBI is issuing circulars, master circulars, do's and don'ts, and then fit and proper criteria. Many people think that there should not be a board of management, because board of directors are there. Why there is a parallel body called board of management? But board of management having expert directors in that, they can give feedback, they can give good expertise, they can give comments on treasury, BDDR, NPAs, and your other developmental aspects. So with that, you are gaining, and particularly credit. Credit all goes routed through board of management. So if they don't recommend, it is very difficult for board to sanction that proposal if board of management is not recommending. So this is a good practice, why we should criticize on board of management. I am not saying because I am a chairman of board of management of some bank, but this is, what RBI has envisaged. This is all for the betterment of cooperative banks. 100 साल से ज़्यादा पुरानी हमारी सहकारिता है, तो अभी तो हमें अच्छा होना है, अपने पैरों पे खड़ा रहना है. बहुत सारे बैंक C, D में है, तो उनको A, B में आना है, और जो मर्जर एक्विजिशन के लिए जो कुछ चल रहा है उसमें ना जाते हुए, और सैफ है, सैफ के बहुत सारे सैफ इम्पोज बैंक्स है, अभी नेक्स्ट साल से पीसी आने वाला है 1 अप्रैल से. सो वी शुड कम आउट ऑफ दैट ऑल फेजेस ऑफ सैफ एंड पीसीए एंड ऑल दैट, एंड वी शुड हैव अ वेरी गुड हेल्दी एटमॉस्फेयर, क्लीन मैनेजमेंट. विद दिस आई कंक्लूड माई सेल्फ. थैंक यू सो मच.